So I went from this to this within 2 days.
And then I pushed myself even further beyond that.
He must be bluffing.
Let's go, bro. So I've got years of what I would call like layman's experience.
Layman's experience is a term that I just made up. It basically means you're self-taught and you've learned things through your own trial, error, and experimentation.
Of walking on my hands, calisthenic skills, stuff like that. But anytime someone asks me like, oh, can you do a flip? It's always like, but well, right now the only flips I can do is like a kip up and then a front handspring, kinda. It's more like a, mommy, look what I can do, front handspring. I'm 26 right now, which in internet years translates to roughly 62. So I'm gonna have to stretch out before I do this. But I just don't wanna like try to jump straight into a back handspring and crack my spine and then be walking around stiff for the next week, no diddy. As much as I would love to just jump backwards and that be my attempt, my body kind of refuses to listen to the command of just jump backwards and land on your hands. So we're gonna have to work ourselves up to it. One. Ew. For my second attempt, I hesitate a bit because my brain decides it's going to remind me of the worst case scenario just before my feet leave the floor. And it's just one of the obstacles you're going to see me have to overcome for this video. As you can see, me being able to do handstands helps because I'm confident in just throwing myself onto my hands. But as you can also see, I'm not too confident just going straight backwards. And that's the main problem I'm going to have to get over. So I think my technique is going to be me just kind of doing a cartwheel. And then I'm going to apply that like frog in a boiling water philosophy. And I'm just going to kind of go slowly more and more back until it's a full back handspring. I want to show you every attempt so that you can get a realistic idea of the process. I won't show every single time I do a cartwheel or jump in the air to gain confidence, but I will show every full attempt, even if it's a little more goofy looking. If you're wondering why I started tweaking at the end of that last clip, I have Tourette's, which isn't the topic of this video, but it was part of my process and we're being transparent here. And that's honestly what got me so excited to film this video, because how many times do you watch a tutorial from a professional and they make it seem way too easy and then you try it and you're not getting the same results and you're just like, well, guess I suck. But in this video, you see from the point that I do suck at it all the way to the point that I'm doing a full back handspring, which should show you that you can do it too. Was that it? Nah, that wasn't it. Right back to it. Keep going to the side. Good. I feel like when it comes to flips, you really got to be in the zone for it. You gotta kind of embarrass yourself with a couple starter weak things, and then you get into the zone, and then you just gotta go with it while your mind is there. Here's a prime example right here. I do a little warm up, then I'm locked in, I walk up, and I just jump back into the back handspring without even thinking about it. Boom, solid attempt. And this one I hesitate, and then I go for it, and you can tell it's definitely a little sloppier. As much as I don't really feel like stopping, I think that's a wrap for day one. I did say I'll give myself a week, and this is supposed to be realistic, so the fact is I didn't get it in one day. So at this point you can see I'm really disappointed. I was really trying to get it in one day, but it didn't work out like that. And at this point my body was getting tired, every attempt was just getting sloppier, I was losing daylight, and it was just time to move on to day two. Let's get it. One thing I started doing differently on day two was jumping from a lower squat. Now this was harder on my legs and like had me cramping up doing the Gambino pose there, but it was easier on my brain. I guess I just felt like I was lower to the ground, so there was less risk of injury. May or may not be true, but it was easier for me to hit it, so I just kept doing it. One of the other things I would do is like remind myself that I can literally jump and land on my hands to support my weight, so this should be easy for me. It just doesn't make sense. I'm being nerfed. I need a little break. Yeah, that attempt was so bad, I definitely needed a break. Even the vultures were circling, thinking I was about to check. But after this break, this is the part where I really remember starting to get over that mental block and realizing that if I just literally just like send it and throw it back, pause. If I just throw my arms straight back over my head, then I'll pretty much be doing a flip because I'm already getting enough distance. I haven't hurt myself and I've done it like 40 times. So why not just go straight back and get it over with? That's what I was thinking.
I think that might have been it.
No, that wasn't it. And the reason is I have pretty much two criteria. So I'm just trying to learn the back handspring, not perfect it, but I want to at least be going like 95% straight backwards. And I need my arms to leave the floor before my feet touch the floor. Otherwise, it's more like a back flop. And as you can see in this frame, I was pretty close, but not quite there. But it wasn't a complete L because it really gave me that boost of motivation I needed to finally get this done.
Yes, bro. Yes, let's go. Let's go. I can do more than that. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I'm hype as hell with that last attempt. That's my first time ever doing an actual back handspring that I can call a back handspring. Every other time it's always been that like dilapidated, like back side twist, round off, as you've seen multiple times. But it was all about actually committing and being confident with going backwards. I think this happened faster for me, considering that I'm confident with being able to land on my hands and support my weight, and I already have like experience with bodyweight exercises. But it's still the same process, even if you didn't do that. It just may take longer, or it may be quicker for you. Now, I gave myself a whole week to learn this, but I ended up doing it in 2 days.
Watching this back, it finally met my criteria of jumping straight back, springing off my hands, and landing on my feet. It won't be winning me an Olympic medals anytime soon, but it was a good foundation for a crazy skill that I landed at the end of this video. But I wanted to show you a tutorial first for those of you who wanted to try it out.
Let's do a recap of how we got here. So step 0 is the stretches.
The first you can do all your basic warm-ups and stretches, but one stretch I really like to do is the cobra pose here. Really stretches out your back and your abs, and then whatever stretch I do, I like to do the opposite of it as well. But for this is the most important stretch, the bridge. Targets multiple major points of your body and is the same position you'll be throwing yourself into. Your bridge should look something like the diagram on the top, a nice arc and probably able to support a ton of bricks. If it looks more like mine and can barely support your own gravity, that's okay too. Also, don't forget to stretch out your wrists. It's highly overlooked, but highly important.
Honorable mention, back roll. For this, sit, roll, push over your head. The back roll gets you comfortable with rolling backwards. Step 1, lean with it. This is to get you comfortable with falling back onto your hands. Step 2, Makaku.
The Makaku. This is an essential mental and physical warm-up to any backwards flip.
AKA the monkey flip. Now I can already see some of the comments now, so don't even say it. Sadiq, isn't every flip you do a monkey flip? I don't want to hear it. And fingers forward, bring it back, put it on the ground, take this arm, flip over. Not like this, like that. Bring it back, arm, flip. After that, you're just working up to being able to go fully back. So it's a cartwheel, and then maybe a round off. I'm no expert. And then with each cartwheel, you're just gonna go more and more back until you're jumping fully back. Now there's plenty of videos out there from gymnasts with 20 years of gymnastics experience teaching you how to do it with perfect form. But I think what makes this video special is I couldn't do it, and then I learned on video, so you can see that the method actually works.
You're going to love this. Trust me.
Let me cook.
So I'm actually slowing myself down and being less springy on purpose for this new skill that I'm trying to do. But one thing I noticed is once I was able to do my first back handspring, and then I shot for something past that, then the actual back handspring part became even easier. It's almost like when you're playing a video game and you unlock a new skill. So I'm going to count these clips, but I'm not going to make y'all watch every single attempt I do for this one because it looks pretty repetitive. At this point, I pretty much know the main technique. I just need to have the strength to do it. and slow myself down enough to do what I'm attempting, which I want y'all to try to guess in the comments. And I already had my dub for the day. I hit the back handspring, but I just needed to get it one step further because I had it set in my head, even when attempts were getting downright embarrassing. One thing I changed in my technique was going further back and jumping lower instead of doing a high arc and getting a ton of momentum. This way I could slow my momentum easier. That did almost cost me here. As you can see, my face was like centimeters from smacking into the floor. Thankfully, I'm strong and confident with my handstands. If you've noticed multiple different camera angles, that's not for effect or change in scenery. I literally packed my bags like 3 times. And at one point I even sat in the car and tried to convince myself that the back handspring was enough for the day. But something just told me to just go for one more good attempt before I call it quits.
And this is to go even further beyond.
Let's go, bro. Yes. Finally, bro. You don't know how many times I was packing my bags and left. I don't care how that looked. I'm taking it. This is the first day I ever did a back handspring. And I just did a back handspring into a 9-degree push-up. It can almost be called a backflip into a 9-degree push-up. I'm sure it was sloppy, but like I said, day one, I'll take it.
All right, one more thing before we go. I just wanted to show my feet touched the blades of grass, but they didn't hit the floor. In this clip, you can see like it's an actual push off the floor, so I didn't count this as a successful attempt. But in this video, we literally went from not being able to land one respectable back handspring into landing one into a handstand 9-degree push-up, all within 2 days. So like and subscribe for more, and let me know a skill that you've learned or want to learn.